Hi guys, I am up here at the Moffitt Cancer Center. I got like an hour, just had my blood draw through my trusty port. Got about an hour before I see the doctor for my for the second opinion. This is a doctor that's going to give me a second opinion on what's going on with my situation. So I just drove up here from Naples. It was a long drive. As soon as I got here, of course, where's the bathroom? Because, as you guys know, I hydrate all the time. All the time I'm drinking some sparkling water, yeah. So I also brought up some documents for the doctor. I hope I don't offend him. It's sort of like what I'm doing. I found a paper online about what I'm doing. It's like, starvation, which is actually the fasting that I do, and then stress resistance that causes for the cancer cell. So I'm going to ask him by hyperbaric oxygen. I'm quite sure that they don't use that or have no interest in that kind of therapy. I was just listening to a podcast that, one of those video podcasts. Dominic D'Agostino talking about, how stressed the cancer cell gets in the presence of oxygen. So he was talking a lot about his studies with hyperbaric chambers and how they work well with that therapy. It's sort of the press pulse therapy that Dr. Thomas Seyfried came up with. So interesting to say the least. I hope he takes a look at what I have. Also, I went to, they have those FedEx print shops around, so that's what I did. I also printed out a document here that talks about the type of cancer I have, this bile duct cancer, and where is that thing? The interesting findings that they have found with the drug that's used for malaria treatment. Wait a minute, maybe I'm already into it. So I got like all these papers and not really. Look at this, yeah. Look at this. So autophagy, I guess that's how you say that, inhibitor. Chloroquine induces autopsis of cholangiocarcinoma cells via endoplasmic reticulum stress, and that's what I have. And hopefully he'll look over this. It's a long, 8 pages, I think. There's some stuff on here that's probably not too well, but the printer there does a good job at FedEx. Anyhow, kind of waiting. I was thinking about going down. They have a Starbucks in here and getting my Starbucks, but I think I'll do that for my return. I plan on hitting a Costco up here, and it's not just to spend money. I know that's what you guys think, because that's like my second home, right? But no, it's actually to see if there's anything different in the way of fatty foods, things that I can take a look at and maybe pick up a couple things that they may have on sale here that they don't have, and I'm in my Naples Costco, so that's the only reason. Oh, one thing I wanted to get here, because I was mentioning it on Twitter today, is that in Naples there is no butcher. There's nobody there that cuts up meat. There is a restaurant called, what's the name of that? Hang on just a sec, I'll find it. Okay, I just found it. It's called Jimmy P's. I've never been there. It's for beef eaters, which that's me, but I've never been to this place, but it's called Jimmy P's Butcher Shop, And so when you look for a butcher shop, naturally that place comes up. It's a restaurant. It's not I mean, you can buy stuff there, but if you go on their website and look, it's not for people that want to, do like a beef all meat diet, like carnivore diet, because I mean, some of the steaks are like $400, stuff like that. They're very, very rare, from cattle that's raised on an island on the Baltic Sea or something, very exotic. Just made that up. But, I'm interested to see what this... I looked at the Dr. Richard Kim is the guy I'm going to go see here. Some of his YouTube videos and stuff. And he's very, like this. And hopefully it turned out to be, like, good patient-to-doctor relationship or doctor-to-patient relationship. It's kind of what I'm looking for. And, like, it's, like, more open than the nurse that I had here was to the therapeutic ketogenic diet, the fact that I'm fasting before my chemo tomorrow, a couple of these things that I think that are very important to me and are bringing me relief, and that I want to, as they are being successful to me, I want to teach to other people, because I'm kind of like a walking experiment, living proof that these things actually do work. My diet, what I tried on my recent fast, and I'm going to do a whole video on that, is something that's interesting, you guys. I did the fast, but it was at the same time I was reading Walter Longo's fasting-mimicking diet that he has, and fasting and cancer, and fasting and this, and Dominic on his recent podcast, one of the questions to him was, what would you do if you had cancer? And he went through the same thing, make sure I'm on a ketogenic diet, and that I am, fasting, doing the fasting and stuff like that, because it's just been proven, it's scientific, that these, fasting, when you fast like mice, it's cool. They turn into like super mice, One thing that's really cool about Dr. Thomas Seyfried is that he said that they need to get out of the laboratory and the petri dishes and start, seeing how this works with humans, because that's what he does. He's been in an experimentation with, using like humans as trials for years. And, I read his stuff and I just get so excited about the outcomes, So that's what I'm saying. I'm like the human guinea pig here. I want to see, stuff like this before I jump on board. It's not just, I just don't want to go on a diet that's worked for 3 people, but for many people, for the thousands that the ketogenic diet has helped with cancer, and the fasting with before your chemotherapy just makes so much sense. I mean, it is unanimous when you go to Google and type in fasting before chemo. There is not one person that I have found, and if you find one person, please send it to me. Please put it in the comments below, right? That this one person did the fasting before chemo and they had just a horrible outcome, all things considered. So used the port for the second time, as I said, and I'm interested to see the blood work here for my liver numbers, my liver enzymes. Hopefully she did that kind of panel, and I'll get some results on that. So I'm just kind of waiting for 2:30 to roll around. You know how quick doctors are done with you, so I don't expect to. One thing's nice about here, they do have a valet system. You park your car over there in the garage. It's up in here, and you get your little yellow ticket and give it back to them, and hand them maybe a $5 bill or something like that, and away you go. But yeah, I'm doing the fasting. But the one thing I'm doing differently on this fasting, kind of following Walter Longo's fasting mimicking diet, is that I introduced, because I know this is not a fasting breaker per se, is MCT oil. I did like a maximum, because Longo says that you should stay with underneath, I think it was 750 calories a day. And I had to be really careful with that MCT oil because it's pretty high caloric. I mean, it's very high in the fats, but it's a type of fat that goes directly to your, doesn't get digested normally like the other stuff that you eat, like proteins and stuff. It just goes directly to the liver and then right into the bloodstream. It's almost pure ketones, it really brings you into the keto state of keto. If you really looking to get into ketosis, MCT oil is your buddy, all right? So it was like 1 tablespoon of that in coffee. Could be in the morning, maybe like my coffee near noon. But I drink coffee pretty late, which is probably not too good. I gotta probably change that up. Sometimes I do decaf, and I know that has a little bit of caffeine in it. And then the other thing I did, because of the sulforaphane that's in broccoli sprouts, I would have like a nice tub of broccoli I put stuff on it, which makes sure that it doesn't have like either zero carbs or super low in carbs. So I was putting mustard, could be Dijon mustard, or mustards that don't have anything added to them, to like sugars or anything. And I was putting that in with the broccoli sprouts, and then like make sure I was really chewing them to get all that sulforaphane out of there, right? So that was my diet for 2 days, and for 2 days. I've been doing this for like 4 days, I think, leading up to my chemotherapy tomorrow. And doing my numbers, with the Keto-Mojo device that I have to see my GKI, the glucose ketone index, and it's like super in the basement. My number is like 0.6 and 0.7, so like I'm really happy with what's going on. And at first I thought, because you're actually ingesting plant material, that this thing's gonna like kick up my glucose. But on the days I've been doing this, the meter has actually been suggesting to me that I eat an apple or eat some kind of fruit, because today it was like 68. Yesterday it was like 73 or something like that. My glucose reading has been super in the basement. And it's because I'm fasting, I know that, but it's because I think how am I going to say this? I don't think they helped bring my glucose down. Maybe my ketones up. My ketones were like super high this morning. But they're not hurting the whole experiment, so this is my way of getting some kind of, something in my belly. I know Dominic mentioned that he does like meat bouillon cubes in hot water. I thought that was brilliant, because that's something that's satiating. Is that how you say it? Satisfying to you, satiating. And sorry about that. It was a phone call from Express Scripts. That's who I get my prescription from, and they just got the notification that I got my first vaccine, and they were saying with a recorded line that a recorded message, make sure you get your second one, and then all this information on how you could sign up for a text message. Anyway, but what I'm trying to tell you is that you can make your own if you want to. I thought it would be interesting to make my own fasting mimicking type diet thing for me. That would be beneficial. I can see where a bouillon cube would be beneficial in keeping you from popping off your fast, but I think the broccoli sprouts are, they're cancer fighting agents in there, and they're super great cancer fighting agents, so I want to add that. Plus it's a type of food, it doesn't fill my stomach up, but it is kind of satisfying, especially with the mustard on there. I have to make sure that mustard isn't ruining the effect. I don't think so, because there's people that put these things in shakes and in all kinds of other things to get past that. It has like a different type of. It doesn't taste like the sprouts that you would normally put on your sub sandwich or something. They're a little strong and earthy tasting, and like between green and a radish type of taste. It's like a baby broccoli sprout would taste like, right? I mean, broccoli plant would taste like. So that's what I'm doing. It's working out very well. I'm excited to see, and I thought, okay, these things are really not as beneficial for me as I'm thinking, and they do like mess up my fast before chemo, and then I do have some reaction to the chemo. Then what? I thought you're gonna have more than one chemo session, so you can experiment. So if they do, and I'll let you know, if they do throw me off and make me and I turn out that I have like side effects from the chemo, like greater than I'm kind of expecting, the next time I do it, we will do the 72-hour fast with nothing, just my coffee, water. Make sure you take your electrolytes, making sure I get my potassium, magnesium, your salts that you need, okay? And see if that's any different. I'm going to see if it's any different on my next chemo job. So I'm not even sure the time between chemos. So anyway, what I'm going to do now is take a look at the little questions that I have made up for the doctor and kind of get ready for that and head down that way, okay? And hopefully I'll learn something here. Hopefully he's open to this material that I have on my lap here, and hope things go well. I'll let you know as soon as it's done. Well, I am done here, and happy to report that I had very good time with the doctor. So many questions answered, and I'll get to them as soon as I can be alone in the car or something. Gotta get my car out of valet first. I'm not even sure if this is working, but we're gonna try. There we go. So I'm home. What a long drive from Tampa, Florida down to Naples. It seemed like the highway never ended, but I'm here. I didn't get my beach walk in. I went down to the beach, but the sun had already set. We do have the moon coming up there. Does that count? Look at that. It's crazy. It's gonna pop up behind those clouds, maybe. But here's what the doctor said, Dr. Kim up in Tampa. He said that the main thing he said was he's going to add, I'm going to be taking the 2 normal drugs that you receive on chemotherapy, right? And then he wanted to add an additional one, possibly in next month, after we get going with this thing, and I get some pictures in, either from an MRI or a PET scan. He wanted to add a drug that he said is in phase 2 in trials, that for that reason my insurance company may not pay for it, so may not approve it. But if they do, I'm going to add that on. Today, Dr. Santiago said that particular drug is it's pretty potent. So, be ready for that part of it. And I am, since I'm on therapeutic ketosis and doing my fasting. So I think I'm ready for just about anything. It was exciting when I started talking about my protocol, just what I said there, the therapeutic ketosis and the fasting, because I noticed when I started speaking with more scientific terms, things that these guys use and talk about all the time, that the doctors, the way he spoke to me changed. So Dr. Kim, immediately his face lit up about fasting, because he knew about Walter Longo's fasting mimicking and different types of fasting to mitigate side effects from chemo, and also to help in stressing cancer cells, as a therapy. And also he knows about the ketogenic diet. The fasting mimicking, this just blew me away when he started talking about this. He's a researcher as well. The fasting mimicking, he said he tried to get going there at the Moffitt Cancer Center in Tampa. But he said most of his patients that he works with are older and not disciplined with diet. So the trials that he did on his part, a lot of the patients failed. They did not complete the fast, or they thought that the fast was too difficult to do. So the experiment sorry, I'm trying to get the sand off my feet here. The experiment in Moffitt's eyes was a failure, because they have a little, I don't know if you can see it, little shower here. Kind of cool. In their eyes, it was a failure because they, are working to, most of the thought at these bigger places, even people that research, they get so frustrated because the big machine is driven by using conventional drugs. And so the conventional drugs have a way of, that work, and then everybody else is doing it, and you don't worry about too much about the outcome, because it's almost like a given that the patient's gonna have some kind of progress initially. So chemo by itself on a typical standard American diet, if you look at the numbers, it's not good. You have some relief, but and to most of the people out there, they think, well, this is the only thing we have, is to got to do chemotherapy either to a point where they start operating on you to take the cancers out, or you just do chemo for years. Sometimes the guy, one of my friends was talking about a guy that had been on his 5th year of chemo, and I'm just thinking, gosh, that's a lot to go through. And if you don't know about the fasting part, you have all these crazy side effects, like your hair falling out, and getting sick to your stomach, and just all kinds of bad stuff happening. So he said, continue doing what you're doing, the therapeutic keto diet and the fasting. He likes the fasting because, that's part of the stuff that he studied. So it was a good trip. I'm home here. I'm so happy the way everything went. And I couldn't have dreamed, actually. I went expecting a great outcome. I think that's very important, that you expect that what you are going to do and what you have planned is going to have the best outcome. Not like, oh gosh, I wonder what's going to happen. Don't think that way. Think, I'm going to have a good outcome. Things are going to be great. And gonna turn out that way because I'm expecting it to, right? It smells like coffee in here. I wonder why. So that's it. Happy the way things turned out. Thank you guys for supporting me as always. I just feel like I have the best team ever around me. I feel loved. I feel, you know, just everything. You guys have just been an awesome inspiration to me. And hope you have a great evening. I'm gonna get ready to go to bed here because long drive, and tomorrow is a big day, so as always, right? I'm hanging up my chair. And we'll talk to you guys soon. Be blessed. Have a good evening or a good day. And remember what I said, expect the best.